Tonight, we celebrate the legacy of women throughout history and their continued influence. Tonight, as we light the candles, we ask that you remember the ones in your own lives who have changed you, touched you, inspired you, and held you, not just this year, but always. Please, if you would like, sisters and brothers, put the names of those you are loving and remembering and thinking about and holding close in the chat so that we can all breathe their energy in together. I am honored, and I'm going to cry again, to call on my beautiful soul sister, a human being who holds me up, Cantor Natalie Young, to light the first candle.
Love you, Neshama.
Love you.
We have spiraled through the seasons of another year, returning to a familiar place with new buds of spring, reminding us we are still shedding our winter soul. We arrive at this moment, renewed beings that have journeyed through light and darkness, through grief and loss, through new doorways of self-discovery. And some of us still in the hallway waiting for the door to open so that we can move forward from this place where we feel stuck. We return to this point in time, another tour around the sun, not to the same place in a circle, but to a point in a spiral that allows us to see where we have come from, what we have been through, strong, broken, resilient beings, perfectly imperfect. As we wave in the light of the flickering candles, Lahadlik Ner Shel Yom Tov, we breathe in a new soul, making way for divine light to enter and reside within, guiding us, we pray, in strength and peace. And in these precious moments, we are invited to surrender to what is, to bask in delicious stillness, focused inward, on holy connections and divine purpose, letting go of all that weighs so heavily on the spirit and allowing ourselves to be renewed so that we can move forward in the spiral, one foot in front of the other, through another season. To our grandmothers who have loved us and raised us and paved the way so that we might stand strong here today, their light continues to shine brightly and inspires generations in strength and hope. And to all of us who stand on their shoulders, we light this candle for all our grandmothers. Be the light. Be the light. Be the light inside the darkness, be the hope, burning bright into the night, be the voice for those who cannot raise it, be the one who leads the way through the world's darkest days, be the light, be the light, be the light. When days feel long and all that's left inside you are darkest days, reach for the light to guide you. The miracle of change begins with sparks of light we find within that shine. If we come close together, we will see a people strong, a shared humanity, to transform darkness into light, to lead with love instead of might. We shine, we shine. darkness be the hope, burning bright into the night be the voice. For those who cannot raise it, be the one who leads the way through the world's darkest days. Be the light, be the light, be the light. Be the light, be the light. Be the light. And thank you so much to EJ for that beautiful signing. Love you.
Thank you so much to my beautiful sister, Cantor Natalie Young. Thank you for sharing your light tonight and always. I am Lori Akers, and I'm joined tonight by my amazing Shul sisters, Cantor Rachel Brooke and Cantor Rachel Goldman. And before I say anything else, I want to extend my love and mazel to Cantor Goldman, who actually got married today. That's worth a highlight. Can anyone else on here say that? We love you, Rach. So we are going to light our candle tonight in honor of all of the mothers. Mothers of children, mothers of pets, chosen mothers of others, and all the mothers who live eternally within our hearts. About a year ago, I was experiencing a moment in which I needed a reminder of my own strength and my own fire and wisdom. And I came across a poem, Remember, Woman, Remember. And the imagery in this poem spoke to me so intensely in this moment that after a pretty extensive search, I found this beautiful poet and dancer, and the woman behind these beautiful words. Her name is Reese Lavia. And I wrote to her and did something I'd never done before. I wrote to her and asked if she would allow me the honor to put her words to music. And so we began this beautiful collaboration. And then we add the extraordinary voices and spirits of my sisters, Rachel Burke and Rachel Goldman, along with the video artistry and mastery of Beth Stiles. This song that we're going to share was created from a true sisterhood. And EJ, I believe that you're signing as well, and I cannot wait to just add this dynamic to the sisterhood, so thank you. This is Remember, Woman, Remember.
You were born with the heart of 1,000 mothers, open and fearless and sweet. You were born with the fire of queens and conquerors, warriors' blood you bleed. You were born with the wisdom of sages and shamans, no wound can you not heal. You were born the teller of your own tale, before none should you kneel. Remember, woman, remember, you are more than you can see. Remember, woman, remember, you are loved endlessly. Remember, woman, your power and grace, the depth of your deep sea heart. Never forget, you are woman divine, as you have been from the start. You were born with an immeasurable soul, reaching out past infinity. You were born to desire with passion and abandon, your own destiny. You were born with a voice to make your own choice, to transcend and lead the way. Magic maker, miracle creator, giver of life and grace. Remember, woman, remember, you are more than you can see. Remember, woman, remember, you are loved endlessly. Remember, woman, your power and grace, the depth of your deep sea heart. Never forget, you are woman divine, as you have been from the start. Remember your voice without hesitation. Remember your path is all your creation. Remember to honor the warrior inside, who wears beauty and courage at the same time. Remember, you were born with the power, the courage, the fire. Remember, you were born with the heart, passion, the grace. Remember, you were born with the wisdom. Remember, remember.
Hello, friends, and happy Passover. I hope it's a liberating season for you. First of all, thank you to the Shul sisters. That was wonderful. And tonight I'm going to sing a piece that I wrote when I first moved to California about 26 years ago, 27 maybe. And when I moved, I left my best friend, Monica, of blessed memory, my sister, Robin, and my mom, Phyllis Silver. But let me say that they're all very much shining in my life. And wherever I go, they are with me. This is called Mountainside. Yesterday morning I was out walking, blue sky mountain, way up high. Pictures of people were playing in my head. I sat by a redwood and closed my eyes. How do I know when the telephone's ringing? It's you on the other end of the line. Who keeps me honest and who's got me singing? How'd you become such a good friend of mine? Now I'm dreaming of walking together for hours. Imagine your smile so shiny and wide. 3,000 miles away, but I found you here on this mountainside, singing through summers spent with my sister. Years upon years, it feels like a dream. Both of us growing older together, sisters forever, two on our team. And I remember you teaching me all those guitar chords, hearing your music from the room next to mine. 3,000 miles away, I'm still listening here on this mountainside. Blue skies, the mountains take me to heaven, like the women who've wiped away tears I have cried. Here on this mountainside. Now I was the kid who played every evening, bicycle rider, running around, and I knew all my neighbors, and they knew my mother out there until that sun went down. Now I'm dreaming, I'm hearing a voice calling out to me. The food's on the table, Julie, come on inside. 3,000 miles away, was she still calling me here on this mountainside? And yesterday morning I was out walking, blue sky mountain way up high. Pictures of people are playing in my head. I sat by a redwood and I closed my eyes. Thank you. Happy Passover.
Thank you so much, Julie, for playing one of my favorites of your many, many beautiful songs. Good evening, and it is really inspiring to be in the company of such amazing women and beautiful, beautiful souls. And thank you, Beth, for assembling such a magnificent evening of spirit. I lit my candle, and I would like to dedicate it to 4 important women in my life. First, my 2 daughters, Hannah and Sarah, who, by the way they walk in the world, give me hope for the future. All of their generation and what they've managed to endure and how they dust themselves off and get up and keep going forward. They inspire me. My beloved fiance, Rebecca, who is my ever-present companion and lover, and my mother, Adele, who passed away in August and whose shoulders I stand on. I am coming to you from the city of Atlanta, that taught us from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to Stacey Abrams to sit in and stand up and march on. I dedicate this to all of you, and again this candle, to all of the women, our extended family and friends, the family that we make, not necessarily the one that we were born into, who lead with empowered compassion and spirited clarity. We are and will continue to be the never-ending wave of women who show this country how it should be done. And for all of you who are on the East Coast, God bless you for staying up. Let's keep you up a little longer. There's another wave of women opening their eyes, another wave of women sweeping the land, another wave of women compassionate and wise, another wave of women joining hands. There's another wave of women speaking truth to power, another wave of women rising in song, another wave of women emerging from the dark, another wave of women standing strong. Oh, oh, here we come. Oh, oh, here we come. There's another wave of women who have a tale to tell. Another wave of women finding their voice. Another wave of women crawling out of hell. Another wave of women making noise. Come on, make some noise. I hear ya. Oh, oh, here we go. Oh, oh, here we come. There's another wave of women marching up the hill. Another wave of women praying with their feet. Another wave of women with men who share their will. Another wave of women in the streets. I'll see you in the streets, okay? Come on, sing it with me. Oh, oh, here we come. Another wave, another wave, another wave. Oh, oh, here we come. Another wave, another wave, another wave. Oh, oh, here we come. Another wave, another wave, another wave. Oh, here we come. Thank you, EJ.
Yes, yes, yes. Another wave. You opened my heart, Beth. Thank you so much for your artistry and your soulfulness. You are a huge inspiration to me my entire life. So, friends, as we move forward in our program, definitely a moment for tears. The final candle that we light tonight is for our dear friend, sister, and teacher, Stacy Zizuk Robinson, Zichronah Livracha. Stacy profoundly influenced me and so many who are on the Zoom, and really everyone who knew her, with her shining eyes, her massive, loving hugs, her irreverent, awesomely inappropriate humor, her hilarity, her laughter, her deep words, her holy wisdom, and her deep poetry. She left all of us and her holy son and this world just last week. And we miss her very much already. We commit, and I say for myself, I know for so many, we commit tonight to sharing her words and continuing to carry the light of her soul in this world. Just a little piece of Stacy, and thank you so much, Beth, for creating this incredible video.
And Miriam sang. And Miriam sang God's song. It flowed, rising like smoke, like a pillar of fire. And Miriam sang her brother's song, wild, jubilant, free at last, free at last. And she sang her mother's song, crooned in velvet darkness and liquid as day, a lullaby, a love song, her mother's song was. And Miriam sang the people's song, soft and loud at once, and liquid still and edged in smoke, and wild, oh so wild, a babble of song that lifted her feet and rang out, sang out with timbrel and lyre. Her voice rose like smoke, like air, it soared, and she sang the people's song, sang her mother's song, sang her brother's song, sang God's song. They poured forth from her as she danced. The seabed was rock-strewn and dust and blood now, mixed with dust, emet. And Miriam danced on sharp-edged stone, and she sang, her arms lifted with cymbals and timbrels and ribbons of fire that caught the light, caught the eyes of the people as she danced them across the dry desert sea. And she sang, Miriam did, and she danced on feet that bled, arms lifted and weary with fluttering ribbons of color and light, weary and raw, singing. She danced on feet that bled to a distant shore, green and cool with a light that shimmered like freedom, like love. Miriam danced and raised her bloody feet to stand upon the cool and green. No song, no symbol, just silence, a final offering. And into that stunning, that glorious silence, she gave her weary body, her bloodied body, her ribbons and symbols, her vision, her voice. And God sang Miriam's song, and it lifted her like fire, and it filled her like love, Selah.
והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, עמד עלינו לכלותנו. והיא שעמדה לאבותינו, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, עמד עלינו לכלותנו. והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו, מצילנו מידם. והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו, מצילנו מידם. שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, לכלותנו. והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו, והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו מידם. והיא שעמדה לאבותינו, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, עמד עלינו לכלותנו. והיא שעמדה לאבותינו, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, עמד עלינו לכלותנו, עמד עלינו לכלותנו.
This is for Stacy. This is for everybody on the screen. This is for my mom, who I'm so blessed to have stand with me today. Vihisha Amda, in every generation, something is going to try and kill us, but nothing can kill our spirit when we are all here together. And I look forward to every year when we can reimagine Judaism with the women in this room. So thank you, Beth, so much for this opportunity. And I'm just truly grateful. And to Neshama, thank you, Neshama.
Hello, it's Tichel Tuesday. Or is it? I don't even know the days anymore. It's all one big blurb. So I'm walking down the street on 13th. I mama's got my budgies in a bunch. I see these ladies flaunting designer masks, Louis Vuitton masks, Gucci masks. Are you trying to attract more attention to your face? The Rabbanu Shalom knows where exactly to come first with the virus. What word do you see in COVID? COVID! Have a little respect. Hashtag being modest is the hottest.
Instagram, Instagram. Where would I be without my Instagram?
Hi everyone, it's Bila from Tom's River, not Lakewood, because nerds live in Lakewood and cool people move to Tom's River. Anyway, so I'm punished again, because, basically, my teacher in current events said that Nancy Pelosi is trying to get rid of genders. I didn't know what genders was, and I asked, and she's like, like male and female. So I laughed. So she punished me, but then she gave me another chance, and she said, okay, everyone, it's time for history. And I said, you mean history? Because we're getting rid of genders. And she's like, Bila, stop it. And then she said, homework is mandatory. And I said, do you mean women-datory? So I'm suspended.
Hello, it's Tichel Tuesday. If I look like I'm full of anxiety, look at me, I'm so tzalotcha, then yes, I am. My daughter's school just called to notify us all that teaching classes remotely. I said, if you're having school on Zim, then I'm paying tuition through Zim. You know, Fremzoom, Chitzpah. It's like I'm holding on to my last bit of sanitary over here. Hold on, I'm running low on wine. Let me tell my husband, Shinshin, on the way home from work, please pick up some brown fun. He works in the basement, but that's not my problem. Hello, it's Tichel Tuesday. Ladies, this is for you. If you're a man or a husband, keep scrolling. Ladies, me and husband had a humongous fight last night. We're not speaking. Okay, he's speaking, but I'm ignoring. Why? Dramatic pals. I'll tell you why. Last night I caught myself a piece of kiggle, and he looks at me and says, are you gonna eat that? What, a judging butt? You know what a judging, I'm not judging a butt. Hello? Apparently you didn't get the memo that the only judge is the Rabbanu Shalom, especially Erev Yom Kippur. Even my therapist said, I don't want to get in the middle. I said, nobody asked you to be in the middle. Be on my side. That's not the middle. Anyway, ladies, I had an epiphany, a new business in my basement. For a nominal fee, I will pretend to be your couples therapist, and I will tell your husband everything that's wrong with him. He will come running and say, are you me, Michael? Anyway, go to my website to book a session, www.michaelwithtichel.com.
My name is Ellen Allard, and I'm here with somebody who is very, very special. Her name is Mimi the mermaid, and she was just napping, but I had to wake her up just so that she could be part of this. Mimi, are you ready to say hello to everyone?
Yes, I'm feeling a little shy,
Oh, I know. We talked about your being a part of this and singing. Are you ready? Oh, I think so. Were you going to tell a little story about Nana Mimi? Yes, I absolutely was. So, Nana Mimi, my mother, she's been gone for 18 years. And one of the things that I was so afraid of when my mom passed was that I would stop hearing her voice. I was petrified of that. Well, I can tell you what I did. I practiced. I literally stopped and listened every single moment that I could to hear her voice. And I can tell you that now, 18 years later, I still hear her voice. Not only do I hear her voice in my head, but when I listen to all of the women who sang tonight, I'm hearing her voice through all of your voices. And my Mimi the Mermaid is going to continue to carry on her legacy. So my candle is for my mom, Miriam Ellicher Bornstein. What song are we going to do? I'm kind of forgetting. Oh, yes. Well, we're going to do 10 Plagues in Egypt Land. Oh, right. And I'm supposed to count, right? Well, yes, we're going to count together. I'm going to sing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you're going to sing, I remember, 9, 10 Plagues in Egypt Land. That's right. And would you like everybody out there to sing with us in Zoom Land? Yes, please. I would love that. Okay. Everybody ready? Here we go. And her head is bumping up against Mimi. We have to move a little bit so that we don't bump. I don't want you to hurt your kepi. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops, you forgot me. I did, you're right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Plagues in Egypt Land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Plagues in Egypt Land.
Blood in the water made the river run red. 10 plagues in Egypt land. Pharaoh should have listened to what God said. 10 plagues in Egypt land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plagues in Egypt land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plagues in Egypt land. Frogs were jumping in Pharaoh's hair. 10 plagues in Egypt land. Pharaoh didn't like it, but the frogs didn't care. 10 plagues in Egypt land. Everybody sing with us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plagues in Egypt land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plagues in Egypt land. Are we going to sing the whole song, Ellen?
Not the whole song. We'll do one more verse because it's really time for you to go to bed. Okay, everybody ready?
Creepy, crawly, itchy lice. 10 plagues in Egypt land. Mess with the Holy One, you better think twice. 10 plagues in Egypt land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plagues in Egypt land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plagues in Egypt land.
Oh my. I love that. And Ellen, I'm just giving you a lot of hugs for your mom. Love you very much. Thank you for being here. And thank you all of you for sticking it out. Thank you. Our next guest is someone who is incredibly important to me, personally. Dr. Alyssa Ackerman has dedicated her career to ending sexual violence. As a sex crimes expert, she came to understand that eradicating sexual violence required an understanding of those who perpetuate these acts. Incredibly brave. As a rape survivor, she found her greatest healing in having direct conversation with people who had committed sexual harms, a process known as restorative justice. It's mind-blowing, friends. It is Alyssa's Judaism that guides her practice as a restorative justice facilitator. She works within and outside Jewish spaces to help survivors to heal while holding those who perpetuate sexual harms fully accountable for their actions, which is crucial. Alyssa is a member of the Tefillah team for Hanefesh. And I think Rabbi Heidi is on here too, and I love you very much.
Yes, thank you so
is a
much,
synagogue
beautiful
without
ladies.
walls in Orange County, California, and I wish I was there right now, where she brings her love of song, people, and community with every note and breath she shares. I want you all to know that Alyssa gives me faith in tshuva, in the restoration of relationships, in the possibilities of health after trauma. Thank you, my dear friend, for the light that you bring into my life, for the hope you and your partners offer those in pain. And I'm going to say again, especially me, thank you, for the vision of a world of second chances. Bless you, my beautiful sister, and your family, and your holy wife. May the works of your heart be heard, acknowledged, and nurtured. Friends, Dr. Alyssa Ackerman.
Thank you so much, Neshama. I love you, and I am honored to be here and honored to call you my friend. The candle that I lit tonight is for two people. The first is for Cantor Leah Elstein, Zikrona Livracha, who was really one of the first people who saw me before I could see myself, and she is who gave me my voice to do the public speaking that I do. The second person that I lit my candle for is for my best friend, Jess. Jess is the human who helped me to see my warrior self because they showed me their warrior self. And though they will never acknowledge it, they paved the way for me to do this holy work. And I'm honored that Jess is here tonight as well. So as Neshama said, my work in this field came both from my expertise in sexual violence, but also because I am a rape survivor. And I can't do the work without owning both of those things. And I learned really early on that you can't end sexual violence if you're just working with people who have survived it. You have to dig in and do the work with those who have caused it. We like to rely on the criminal legal system to bring justice to those of us who have experienced sexual harm. But the fact of the matter is that for every 1,000 rapes committed, fewer than 5 people will serve time for that. So that leaves our needs unmet. It leaves our voices unheard, and justice is not served. Restorative justice fills that gap. It gives survivors a platform to speak their truth in their own time and in their own way. And it requires those who have caused harm to reckon with the harm and the pain that they've caused in ways that the criminal legal system will never allow for. It gives us unique and creative ways to have the needs of survivors met directly by the people who have caused harm. Jewish values and restorative values are similar. We are all B'Tselem Elohim. We are all capable of harm, and we are all capable of being harmed. We practice teshuvah, and we recite the El Chet on Yom Kippur, evidence of the harms that we've caused. Restorative justice is simply an extension of teshuvah. I have worked with thousands of survivors, hundreds of individuals who have sexually harmed, and I can tell you through my own experience participating in restorative justice and in facilitating these processes, this is holy and healing work. Definitely not a process for everybody, and that's okay. I just hope that after tonight, you'll keep an open and inquisitive heart. The Jewish world has some real reckoning to do around sexual harm, both the actions themselves and the way that Jewish organizations and institutions react. Those reactions are equally harmful to survivors. And one way that we've been reckoning with it is using and engaging restorative processes throughout the Jewish community. But it isn't only sexual and gender-based harms that Jews must wrestle with. We must reckon with our treatment of Jews who don't fit the binaries that society forces upon us. As a queer Jew, I have witnessed firsthand and I have experienced harm by other Jews simply because of my queer identity. The harms to trans and gender expansive Jews must be acknowledged, and we must hold ourselves accountable for it. So whether we're talking about sexual violence or the violence we commit by our words, our silence, or our actions that make people feel invisible, we must do better. Lo ta'amod al dam re'acha, do not stand idly by. This is why I lean into restorative justice. I don't believe in a feminism or a Judaism that discounts or fails to acknowledge and honor all Jews, but especially those who don't fit the binaries that are forced on us. And with that, it is my absolute honor and privilege to call upon Rabbi Abby Stein for more words of inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you, doctors, so much. And it's really an honor to follow up, specifically talking about restorative justice. I had the honor and pleasure to get involved, get to learn a bit more when I worked through JFresh and other organizations on bail reform in New York State. And I spoke up. There's even on my Instagram, if you want to see 2 speeches that I gave at rallies that we had on that, exactly that. You can't just use a stick to everything. It doesn't work. It's like the Talmud says, you ayin tachat ayin. If you hit everyone's eyes, the whole world is blind. So thank you so much for that. So talking of the binary and the plagues, I had the honor this year to participate in a project done by a group called Dwelling through the Jewish Book Council, where we looked on modern plagues. The project in general looked on 10 modern plagues, which were COVID, darkness, housing insecurity, single-use plastic, food insecurity, grief and loss, binary thinking, ageism, racism, and xenophobia. Naturally, I was asked to expand on the Makkah, the plague of binary thinking. So I wrote, I guess you could say, my own 10 plagues within the Makkah of binary thinking. So we'll just read through that. The Makkah, the plague of the binary. The Makkah of binary gender, the plague of forced identities. The Makkah of binary gender roles, the plague of sexism and marital status at home, in leadership, and unequal pay. The Makkah of binary professional opportunities, the plague of class structure and lack of social mobility. The Makkah of binary sexuality, the plague of labeling, even when not needed. The Makkah of binary race, the plague of misplaced divisions. The Makkah of non-binary color blindness, the plague of the melting pot instead of diverse inclusion. The Makkah of binary accessibility, the plague of erasing nuance in body, soul, and spirit. The Makkah of binary immigration status, the plague of nationalist walls of brick and mind driven by phobia. The Makkah of binary healthcare systems, the plague of the underinsured, the uninsured, and insurance tied to work. The Makkah of binary politics, the plague of unequal representation for the people. All these mentioned, and the ones we did not, yet are still plagued by the binary, are sources of pain to many of us. Tonight, as we transcend those binaries, we hope for a world of freedom. Tonight, as we work towards our generational exodus, b'chol dor v'dor, in every generation, we know that no one is free till we are all free. Tonight, we bring in all of humanity with our differences. Tonight, we break free together towards a non-binary, inclusive world where we see all. Thank you all so much. And this will be published soon. I will probably share it if you follow on social media. And as I wrap, I'm like impressed. We're going close to 3 hours and there's still a few hundred people here. Love you all so much. Chag Sameach, Git Yom Tov, as we would say in Yiddish, Freilichen Süßen and Kushin Pesach. Good night.
Thank you, Rabbi Abby. So happy to be here with all of you. Thank you for the people who are hanging in there. So appreciate it. You can, I'm Sue Horowitz, and I lit my candle for my friend Stacy Sesuk Robinson, who you all learned about. If you don't know her work already, please go find her holy and beautiful work. And the song I'm going to be singing is called In the Water. You can help me. This is a sing after me song, so my part goes like this. It's in the water, and your part goes, it's in the water. My part goes, it's in the water, uh-huh. Your part goes, it's in the water, uh-huh. And I sing, it's in the water. We all sing together, it's gonna carry us home. Safe in a basket, swaddled in reeds, floating towards freedom with Moses in the lead. It's in the water. It's in the water, uh-huh. It's in the water, uh-huh. It's in the water. It's gonna carry us home. Pitching a tent in the heat of the day, dancing towards freedom, Miriam leads the way. It's in the water, it's in the water, it's in the water, uh-huh. It's in the water, uh-huh. It's in the water. It's gonna carry us home. Water above us, water below, and water wherever we roam. Water within us, and water without, and water to carry us home. Mi chamocha ma'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nadar b'kodesh, and ora tehilot osefele. It's in the water. It's gonna carry us home. Water above us, water below, and water wherever we roam. Water within us, and water without, and water to carry us home. Standing at the Jordan with all who will go, crossing towards freedom, gotta go with the flow. It's in the water. It's in the water, uh-huh. It's in the water. It's gonna carry us home. It's in the water. It's gonna carry us home. Carry us home.
Thank you, Sue. You're awesome. My name is Michelle Citrin. I'm coming to you from Brooklyn, New York, and I light my candle in honor of my maternal grandmother, whom we lovingly call Ima. And Ima was my guide, my shiro, my teacher of music, and she was a survivor of the Holocaust. And she and so many of our ancestors had to face unimaginable challenges, and somehow they found the strength to take steps into the unknown. And so my hope and wish for all of us is that we can follow in their footsteps, and guided by faith in ourselves and in something larger to propel us to take those steps forward into the unknown.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. Repeat after me. מלכותך ראו בניך בוקי הים, לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם בהלת, שיר ילייז יאללה לילה, יאללה לילה לילה, יאללה לילה 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 לילה, יאללה לילה יאללה לילה לילה, יאללה לילה 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 לילה.
It's my great honor to bestow a blessing upon our honoree, Yivarechecha, that I grew up with, which is the way I heard it every week from my father. Yivarechecha, Yivarechecha, Adonai Yishmerecha. Bless you and keep you. Yair, Yair Adonai, Panav Eilecha, Panav Eilecha, Vichunecha. May God cause a glorious light to shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai, Panav Eilecha, V'yasem lecha, V'yasem lecha, V'yasem lecha, May God cause radiance to follow you all your life and the blessing of shalom, peace. Amen.
And Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wove was one which sang our history. With every strand and every thread she crafted our delight. All women touched with spirit, she dances toward the light, 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 toward the light. Dancing with their timbrels, follow Miriam as she sang her song. Sing our song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. The whole night long. When Miriam stood upon the shores and gazed across the sea, the wonder of this miracle she soon came to believe. Whoever thought the sea would part with an outstretched hand, and we were past to freedom and march to the promised land. Freedom, 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 freedom. Dancing with the timbrels, follow Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one who we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. Dancing with the timbrels. Miriam stood right on the edge, looking to the future. Said, sisters, this won't be easy, but you got the power, you feel me. And Miriam, the prophet, took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her, just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song with praise and might. We've just lived through a miracle, and we're gonna dance tonight, 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 tonight. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Take your power now, come and take your power now, a little louder. Come and take your power now, take your power now, come and take your power now, a little louder.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Can we give a round of applause for that bop of a dance track? Holy moly, Beth. I'm so excited to rock out to that as much as possible over Passover and beyond. Hi, everyone. I thank you, everyone, for participating in that video. I am Eliana. I am happy, delirious to be here with all of you. It is way past my bedtime. So let's sing Dayenu. A melody you might not know, though. I kind of debuted it here last year. So that's great. Kama ma'alot tovot lamakom aleinu. How many levels of goodness, leveling up of the good, has the place given to us? Kama ma'alot tovot lamakom aleinu. Hotzianu mi Mitzrayim velo asa vahem shefatim dayenu ilu asa vahem shefatim velo asa velohem dayenu 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 lai lai ay la 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 lai lai ay la 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 lai 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 ay lai ay la 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 lai lai ay la 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 lai dayenu 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 dayenu.
Thank you, Eliana. Light. You are a light. I'm Shoshana Jedwab, and I'm so grateful to be here. I lit my candle tonight for the neshama and for the glorious body of Yosefa Rafaela HaKohenet, who was one of the pioneering folks in the first cohort of the Kohenet Hebrew Priestess Institute in 2006. Soon after receiving smicha, her ordination as a Hebrew priestess, Yosefa, just in her 40s, died of brain cancer. Yosefa was an accomplished female tattoo artist, healer, and wise woman who I always called Rebbe, my teacher.
The song I'm sharing at this magical cup of Elijah is called I Remember. In I Remember, I flip the script on the prophet Jeremiah, turning his words into a love song to the Shekhinah, the feminine divine who returns when we remember her. Zacharti lachesed ne'uraif ahavat kilulotaif. I remember your love and your kindness when you walked with me through desert wilderness. I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember you. I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember you. Lech teich acharai, acharai, bamidbar, lech teich acharai, be'eretz lo zruah. Lech teich acharai, acharai, bamidbar, lech teich acharai, be'eretz lo zruah. I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember you. I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember you. How you walk with me, walk with me, walk with me. How you walk with me when you were young and free. How you walk with me, walk with me, walk with me. How you walk with me through the sand and sea. I remember, 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 I remember you. I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember you. How you walked with me, walk with me, walk with me. How you walked with me through the sand and sea. How you walked with me, walk with me, walk with me. How you walked with me when you were young and free. I remember, 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 I remember you. I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember, I remember. I remember you.
Shoshana. It's Rabbi Deb and Aaron Solomon here to make a toast. As sisters, mothers, daughters, and women of the world, we welcome everyone. With the growing diversity of the Jewish people, we include you no matter where you came from, what your faith is, your color of your skin, or who you love or your gender identity. You belong. I hold up high the cup of Ruth, an exemplary humanitarian, a non-Jewish woman who loved fiercely and unwaveringly in her loyalty towards her mother-in-law Naomi, even after the death of her husband, Naomi's son. As Ruth said to Naomi, "Wherever you go, I shall go, and your people shall be my people, and your God shall be my God." This beautiful quote speaks to interfaith families, to our chosen families, our partners, husbands, and wives.
I am my mother's daughter. I am a feminist activist because, as Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, if you are neutral in situations of unjust, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. There is no force more powerful than a woman determined to rise. To be raised by a strong, independent, entrepreneurial woman has set me the foundation to be who I am today. I have seen my mom firsthand build a community from the ground up that embodies the very definition of diversity, inclusion, and equity. My Jewish experience has propelled me to tie my personal love for social change to get a formal degree in not just business, but women, gender, and sexuality studies. I am intent on breaking barriers for BIPOC women in business and pursuing work that moves towards dismantling the patriarchy and creating a new reality of possibility with real and actionable cultural change.
I raise this glass and sip the sweet wine to praise all who stand tall and lead with grace. May we be blessed with strength and passion to pursue our purpose as we spread our wings to lift one another. And let us say, Amen.
Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Thank you so
everyone.
Is Deborah there? There we are.
Here, finally, we made it. We stayed awake here. It's been amazing. Thank you, everybody.
So this beloved Israeli song is sung at times of celebration, and its core message is about hope and simple pleasures and looking forward to the year to come.
And tonight, Katie and I will sing it with pause and prayerful hope that next year, with the pandemic behind us, we will not live in fear and we will see how good it can be.
Thank you. Thank you, Beth, and all of you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
בשנה הבאה נשב על המרפסת ונספור ציפורים נודדות. ילדים בחופשה ישחקו תופסת בין הבית לבין השדות. תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה.
בשנה הבאה נפרוס כפות ידיים מול האור הניגר הלבן. ענפה לבנה תפרוס באור כנפיים והשמש תזרח בתוכן. תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. תראה
Take a deep breath, everybody, because I'm the last one up. We have made it. Oh my goodness, 135 Zoom boxes. You are my sheroes, period. Full stop. My name's Naomi Les, and I get the honor and privilege of bringing us into the next, because this ain't over. Sing with me. Nine, 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 nine. One more. So this Nigun was written by the one and only Beth Stiles as part of a collaborative opportunity of counting the Omer. So before we wish everybody a tzeichen l'shalom, a real joyous, lifted and meaningful and wow and thanks and holy wow. It is amazing. Just take a trip for one moment back through tonight and think about what was shared here. The profoundness of the words and stories and experiences. My candle has long since burnt out. And I'm wondering, because my candle was for my mother, Madeline Less, whose 5th Yortzeit was yesterday, the English Yortzeit. If you have a candle, will you bring it to the screen? In her memory, because she greeted every single person she met with a Sever Panim Yafot, with a joyous, joyful, sweet countenance. So if you've got a candle and you want to greet the faces on this screen with a Sever Panim Yafot, bring that candle into full view. We are not ending tonight. We're going to keep going. And I'm happy to announce that we will be counting the Omer together in the second annual, it's not inaugural, right? Second annual year of Sisters Count, hashtag Sisters Count. This is a daily dose all through the Omer from voices that you've heard on this screen tonight and many others, 49 days and 49 little musical inspirations from Jewish, female identified and gender non-conforming artists, cantors, ritualists, musicians. In order to find this, you'll go to my Instagram, follow at NaomiLess1. Maybe somebody can put that in the chat, at NaomiLess1. And together with my dear friend, cantor Joanna Zalznick-Dulkin, we will be hosting Sunday intentional setting of the week, featuring the Omer workbook that has been put out by Gold Herring. If you haven't seen this, you need to run to look up Gold Herring online and get yourself one of these incredible implied feminist workbooks for the Omer. It is magnificent. So we'll be counting this together, my friends, my sisters, my siblings. Because I count, you count, she counts, they count, we count too. You're about to see the video of Sisters Count to head us out into the evening. Written collaboratively by Aviva Chernik, Beth Stiles, Shoshana Jadwab, and myself, featuring many faces that you will recognize. Are we ready?
I count, you count, she counts, they count, we count too. I count, you count, we count too. I count, you count, she counts, they count, we count too. I count, you count, she counts, they count, we count too. I count, you count, she counts, they count, we count too. I count, you count, she counts, they count, we count too. We will rise, tasting every side with open hearts. Watch us fly, lighting up the sky, living beyond all boundaries, grounded still. Sisters count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Count 3, we count 7. Our silence is current, they count beauty, entering splendor. I count, you count, she counts, they count, we count too. I count, you count, she counts, they count, we count too.